Hi guys, I'm Morgan Thompson-Williams from Titleist, one of the golf ball specialists. I look after the southeast of England. I'm going to be with you guys today answering some golf ball questions and getting you playing your best golf.
What is the best thing to look for in a golf ball?
Would be to consider every club in the bag. Obviously we use the golf ball with every club in the bag, so we want to make sure it's working throughout the bag. It's very easy to consider just the putter maybe, or just the driver, but we want to make sure it works with every club. So my number one tip, we consider all shots and maybe place a bit more value on your shorter clubs than your longer clubs, because in a round of golf you're probably going to hit a few more wedge shots than you are driver shots. So overall, consider all your clubs, but place a bit more value on your shorter ones than your longer clubs.
How would you go about considering different types of shots around the course?
So at Titleist we work from a green to tee methodology. So we look, like we said earlier, we place a bit more value on your shorter clubs than your longer clubs. So take the golf balls out on the golf balls that you're thinking of using. Start with some shorter shots in and around the green. Have a look at how the golf balls react, the control that you get from those golf balls. Then go back, hit some fuller shots, have a look at the flight that you get, because some golf balls fly a different height to others. So make sure you're happy with the overall flight that you're getting. Then go back and consider the driver at the last step. So start at the green, working back, and consider three things. Flight, we mentioned, the different heights. Spin, we mean control going into the green, and the feel of the product. You've got to like the feedback and feel that you get from the product. So consider flight, feel and spin, working green side back to tee. Maybe not.
What about speed when picking a golf ball?
Yeah, so it's commonly thought of with golf ball. We sometimes think about matching golf ball to club head speed, but for us, we don't think along those lines, because like we said at the start, we use the golf ball with every club in the bag, and every club in the bag, you're going to swing at a different speed. So every shot on the golf course is different, it's a different speed, so we want to make sure the golf ball works at all the shots on the golf course, not just at one speed. So we wouldn't consider speed because of there's so much variation out on the golf course.
What creates spin in a golf ball?
Yeah, so sometimes we think about soft meaning spin. Sometimes we think if we need a bit more control and spin around the green, we need to go to a softer golf ball. That's not necessarily the case. What creates spin is how the layers of the golf ball interact with each other. So when you have a soft layer on the outside followed by a hard layer on the inside, that interaction creates a high spin scenario. When you then flip that and then you have a hard layer on the outside and a soft layer on the inside, that creates low spin. So when we're choosing a golf ball, because we want the golf ball to be low spin with driver but high spin with wedges, that's why we've got to consider all the shots in the bag. So what creates spin is how the layers of the golf ball interact. Soft, hard creates high spin, hard, soft creates low spin.
Are there any misconceptions around the golf ball?
Yeah, so the other one for us that we wouldn't consider would be ability. Sometimes we think about you have to be a certain handicap to play a certain golf ball, or you're not quite good enough to see the benefit of a particular golf ball. But for us, everyone will benefit from a golf ball fitting like everyone can benefit from a golf club fitting. You know, the differences in golf ball are in ball flight, in, like we mentioned, in height, in spin and control around the green, and in feel. And the matter of the ability, those differences are going to be there. So it's about finding the balance of those three things, finding out which ball performs best for you, and no matter what your handicap, you're going to benefit from that.
Why is flight so important in a golf ball?
So every golf ball on our range has a unique dimple pattern. The dimple pattern itself controls how the air flows over the ball, so therefore controls and dictates the peak height and trajectory that you're going to get from the product. The deeper you make the dimples, the lower the ball will fly, or the shallower, the higher they'll fly. Also, the sharper the edge of each dimple, the lower the ball's going to fly. So every ball's got a unique dimple pattern, and therefore we can optimize flight through every product in the range.
How to select the right golf ball for putting?
So with the putter, all the golf balls will perform the same. They'll come off with the same speed and roll the same. But you do get a difference in feel. The majority of that comes from sound. So that slightly clickier sound we associate to a firmer ball, and that slightly duller, quieter sound we associate to a softer ball. So you do get a difference in feel, but the performance is the same.
How can our customers go about selecting their own golf ball?
So the things to think about, like we mentioned, are flight, feel and spin. They're the key differences between products. You're going to fly a different height, give you different controls going into the green and feel differently. When online, we've got a great golf ball selector tool. So that's either on our website or GolfOnline's website. You can click on that tool and it's going to take you through about 8 or 9 questions about golf ball, about your game, what your preferences are, how you'd like to play, and it'll give you a suggestion of which ball is best for you. So that's a great tool when online to choose your golf ball.
We've just been hitting some shots. What are your findings with these?
So we're mainly looking at the spin column here. This is what's going to create stopping power when going into the green. We've hit a lob wedge over about 60 yards there for 3 different golf balls, AVX, Pro V1 and Pro V1x. You can see the spins increasing as we go up from AVX to Pro V1x. This is an example of when we mentioned about soft doesn't necessarily mean spin. You can see AVX there. It's the softest golf ball that we've hit, but it's spinning at 6,800. Pro V1x is referred to as the firmer feeling ball, but it's spinning the most, at just over 8,000. So, that soft doesn't necessarily mean spin. What's creating that spin is how the layers of the golf ball interact with each other, and that's what's increasing as we go up from AVX to Pro V1x. So the inside of the golf ball is getting a little bit harder, the outside's getting a little bit softer, and that's why we can see the spin increase. So, this is maybe an area that we don't necessarily expect to see some differences as golfers, but we've hit three different golf balls there, and we've seen 1,200 yards of difference between 3 different balls with a lob wedge over 60 yards. So, it's just showing how it's really important to consider all shots in the bag, and just matching up that spin element to to your landing spot, how much control you want, the stopping power that you're going to get out of the shots going into the green. And this is where, again, if we're going to hit a few more shots with our wedges than our driver in a game of golf, then this is where fitting and making sure that the golf ball's working in this area becomes really important to score our best.